Uh, so Taylor Schneider getting points both nights. Of course, first night getting three with the two goals, one assist, and then getting Player of the Week with the CCHA. Kind of, what does that do leading, especially into this tough series you got coming up this weekend?
Yeah, I think we've talked before about some of our older guys who have had a history of, putting up numbers offensively, and Taylor's certainly one of those guys. And he scored, what was it, 30 seconds into the game Friday, so he got the weekend off to a good start, and he just kept going the whole weekend, along with his line mates Alex Barber and Nathan Burke. They all scored on the weekend. They all assisted on goals, so they all had multiple points on the weekend, which is really nice to see out of those guys because we know that they're certainly capable, and their history says that they should be a part of our offense on a regular basis. So good to see Taylor rewarded, and really good for our team to see those guys play as well as they played.
Last time you guys played against Minnesota State earlier this season, it was really late game rallies that got you guys back in there and then sent it to overtime the first night. Were you working on to see kind of you guys take this upcoming weekend?
We've tried to focus on some of the things that we've been doing of late that have allowed us to be a little bit more successful. We're really at this point in the week, we're really focused on the things that we feel like we need to do and do consistently to allow ourselves to be successful. We know Minnesota State's a very good team, and a difficult team to play against, but we haven't really talked about them as much. We want to, we break our week down into certain things that we focus on each day, and our, our our guys have been doing a really good job of late of doing the things in practice, and doing a good job of it. So when the game comes on Friday, hopefully those situations that arise and the things we work on are a little easier in the game when someone else is pushing back. So we're just going to continue to do what we've been doing, and hopefully on Friday, we know the guys will be excited and ready to go. We're at home in Slater Family Arena, which all our guys love playing here, and it should be fun.
Anything on Zoom?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Nice share, by the way.
Oh,
We all caught the end of that conversation, so it was good.
yeah, it was
Kudos to your daughter.
Dan Biles called. We were just catching up, and he watches the press conferences too, and he's like, "Yeah, it is the longest I think I've ever seen your hair in 30 years." So,
Okay, how about our weekly goalie update with Zach and his status?
yeah, well, obviously it was good to see Zach back in there. We've talked on a regular basis about Zach and where he's at from a health perspective, and how hard he's worked to get himself back to feeling like he can play. And so it was really nice to see him out there again. I know the guys were all excited when we announced the starting lineup, and for him to go back out there and play in a game and get the win was certainly something that was neat for everybody. Right now, we haven't had a conversation about the weekend yet with any of our goalies. The plan will be to play the player on Friday who we feel like gives us the best chance on Friday, and then we'll evaluate Saturday. So Zach's is healthy, maybe as healthy as he's been, but he's still not 100% because it's a like we've talked about. It's a situation that's not going to go away with rest. It's going to need to be fixed in another way, and he's just basically trying to the best of his ability, manage the pain and put himself in a position where he feels like he can play. And he's been really honest with Dan Fisher, our trainer, and the rest of us on staff, and so we'll just have those conversations again this week.
Okay. At the end of the second period on Saturday's game, you had a power play, and then they ended up with a shorthanded breakaway. How big a lift was that when Christian Stoller made that save? Yeah, right before the end of the period.
Yeah, that's a there's all kinds of little plays in games that maybe at the time you're not sure that they are the difference, but that could have been that was a big save at a big moment in that game. Obviously you don't even want to say it's a mistake. We're trying to make a play, and the puck, Lake State does a good job. They work hard, and they create an opportunity for themselves shorthanded, and that's when you need your goalie to come up with a big save. And Christian did that, which was great for us because ultimately the power play did a really good job on Saturday, and it was 3 for 5 or 3 for 6, and going into that third period, they were able to make they scored right off the hop, and that was a huge goal for us. So big save from Christian for sure.
Okay, and excuse me, finally, Adam Swangler. I've noticed a change in his game. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but he came into the program more of a goal scorer, and now I don't know if it's the extra attention he gets from the other teams, and he's covered a lot closer. He's turned more into a playmaker. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, 3 assists on Saturday was really good. He made a real nice play to Dalton Norris on Dalton's first career goal and was around it. And he's an offensive guy, and he's just trying to do. We're trying to get all our guys to understand that when we're all playing well and we're all doing the things that we're capable of doing, we're taking what's available, not trying to make something out of nothing. And I think that was a case for Austin on Saturday, where he that night maybe the plays or the situations dictated that he move a puck rather than try to shoot it. And the other thing where his game has grown is he made a couple plays on the back check where he defended and caught guys, which is really fun to see out of a young guy, and that kind of stuff becomes contagious. And when you see an offensive guy work as hard as he did in those couple situations to back check and get his stick on a puck and create a turnover, those kinds of things are really valuable for the entire bench to see.
Okay, great. Well, I do have one last one. I said that was the last one. I have one more. What kind of a buzzsaw do you expect to see from Minnesota after losing 2 to Ferris at home?
Yeah, it's I've been asked that question a couple times. So we do get the fortune of playing Minnesota State 2 times this year, and both times it's with them coming off of sweeps, which hasn't happened in 5 years and like 10 years. I think the sweeping at home was like 10 years or something. So we know they're going to be ready, whether they won 2 or lost 2 or split. They're well coached and they're a good team. We expect them to come down here and be prepared because we're not quite halfway through the conference season, but we're real close, and this is the last time the 2 of us are going to play this season in the regular season, and these points are important because the standings are really, really tight.
Right there.
Yeah, and there's a long way to go, but the points matter, and our guys are excited about the opportunity, and their guys will be excited as well, and I believe that Mike Hastings and his staff always have their players' attention, but they certainly will have their attention after getting swept at home, and you got to give credit to Ferris. Ferris State's goalies had a great weekend and did a nice job, and so good for them. They got rewarded, and I'm sure they really enjoyed that as well.